Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So we are back on this train as we await Gotham Knights release, and something kind of sparked up in my mind based on our last conversation on Gotham Knights, talking about the writing of the game and the fact that, it seemed like somebody new to the team had just started writing. And I thought, this is a very interesting time for us to actually start hypothesizing story points that may show up in the game. Now, before I jump into my first prediction, basically a hypothesized story point, if you enjoyed the content at some point, feel free to hit the subscribe button and genuinely leave a like. It really does help the video and does promote it so that other people who may be interested in this content could see it. All right, so my very first prediction from a story perspective is that we are going to play as Batman, and not down the road or at the end of the game, or probably in the middle of the game. I'm talking the moment Gotham Knights as a game starts. I genuinely believe that we are going to be playing as Batman. Now, I know the game is not about Batman, and some people may say, well, they've already announced that Batman is supposedly out of the picture. But hold on a little bit. Allow for me to just land this plane, quickly. Now, in order for them to be able to create tension, the very first thing that they did was they brought their trailer out and announced to us that Batman was potentially dead. They never confirmed it. They just said, billionaire Bruce Wayne was, boom. And then this, footage comes out where he basically sends out this message and destroys the Batcave. I think all those events prior to this announcement, are going to basically be events that we get to experience as the player and not in a cutscene. So think about it. How does the game start? When you hit that, start button, what happens? Think about the way that, Arkham Origins kind of kicked off. Arkham Origins kicked off directly in gear. Like, it just kind of started. Arkham City kind of started where they arrested Bruce Wayne. There always is some kind of, a twist or some tension builder that's basically started these Arkham games. In Arkham Knight, before you know what's happening, everything is pretty chill. You're even playing as the police officer who basically finds himself in that scenario. So I believe that according to that tradition, we are most likely going to see ourselves playing in the shoes of Batman when he finds himself in whatever scenario he finds himself in, be it as Batman or be it as Bruce Wayne. And before all of that stuff goes down, that triggers the code black message to then activate the Gotham Knights. This is, in my opinion, a very, very good way that writers usually build tension in the game, because there are many sides that you can look at it from. The moment you play as Batman, there's something that's going to be in your mind. Your mind is going to be like, man, what happened to Batman? And I think that's genuinely a way that the developers are able to kind of get you on the mission that they want you to be on, which is the mission of not only taking care of Gotham, but looking for Batman and trying to investigate what happened to him. And I think in that context, you now have a grounded story. So there are many comic iterations, the 52 comics, some of the other Nightfall comics, if you look at all the different storylines, there are ways that you can actually put Batman in a very huge conundrum. But I think the 52 comics already did a good job with the explosion that happens. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I've made a video back, a few months ago where I asked if that was how Batman actually dies. And I think putting you in that scenario might be a very awesome way to, basically present the game and kick it off with players. And so I don't think there's anything really far-fetched in that, assessment. I think it's actually quite solid, if you ask me. I think it's something that as a community of gamers, we're really, really going to love. And even the Batman fans are going to be like, I don't think Batman's dead. And there'll be a big question basically from the start of the game all through whatever it is they want to come to conclusion with, be it that, Batman is out of the picture, or be it that Batman eventually gets found and eventually gets taken care of, and then is revived. And then perhaps I think he's most likely going to play some sort of a mental role with the Gotham Knights, because it seems the developers want the Gotham Knights to be at the center of this particular game. Now, this is basically my first prediction. I may be wrong, but, to be very honest, that's the fun part about predictions. It's where we just basically place hypotheses based on some of the things that, we've seen in stories and writings. But, I think the best way to create attention is this particular route, because it really does make sense. How else is Batman missing? I mean, they can't just start the game from that cutscene that they showed us at the DC Fandom event. In fact, I disagree that cutscene is the beginning of the game. I think think that particular cutscene kicks off, kind of in a sense, the credits of the game, or something along the lines of that. Or that's basically the hook, the act one that sends us basically spiraling into this entire conundrum of taking care of Gotham and then maturing and growing as the Gotham Knights. Now, left to you, what do you think about this so far? Is this something that you may have suspected? I haven't seen anybody talk about it this way. I've heard people say we'll probably play as Batman, but I haven't necessarily heard anybody specifically say how, when, and where they think we'll be playing as Batman. I believe that the moment we fire up the game, hopefully, the game doesn't get super delayed, I think we're going to basically see ourselves controlling Batman for at least the very first, the opening act of the game. I think it's a nice way that the developers are going to pretty much, I would say, tease the community and kind of say, hey, we're here. We also understand what this game is about. Yes, Batman seems to be out of the picture, but the Gotham Knights still need to operate under a lot of his own already set premonitions, already set standards. I mean, yes, as much as people may say, well, Batman needs to stay dead, or I think Batman needs to be alive, it still needs to be emphasized that if it wasn't for the Batman dad in the family, the kids will not be where they are right now. So I think that family matter is going to eventually get some sense of, I would say, conclusion, at the end of the game and as you pace through the game. But it's going to be interesting and fun to see how we all experience the mechanic. In fact, I'm even going to be shocked, if it doesn't be a thing where, Batman, as he starts out the game, they use him to kind of give you some pointers for some general controls for, some of the way the characters will fight. Because generally they'll share specific similarities, like, they'll have the same melee button. They'll have maybe the same grapple button, if you think about game mechanics and all of that stuff. I think it's actually going to be fluid, and I think they're going to streamline it very well. But I'm tired of making predictions. Basically for now, I'm going to come back again, hopefully, if I can kind of see if I can plot the story in a weird way, how the game's going to progress. I might be able to come up with another prediction of how I think the game is going to go and what we're going to see. But at this point, it's going to be kind of challenging, to be honest with you. But, that's what keeps the conversation going. I mean, we're really excited about this game, regardless of all the challenges that gaming has faced in the past few years. But at the end of the day, it's something where we're hoping that we get the best possible game that comes out. All right, that's it for me. Thank you very much for indulging me. I appreciate you guys so much here in the community. You guys have been super, super great, engaging in the content, basically helping with, hitting that like button and, basically asking questions and keeping the conversation going. It's very encouraging to continue to do content like this. So that being said, I'll talk to you guys in another video. Thank you very much. Peace out.